listening to you tonight is that you are not afraid of challenging adults to focus on the best interest of students. How can you get the AEA to embrace this novel idea?
Let me tell you. We use that as an excuse. We use it as an excuse. We really do. I'm not proud of this. I right now am under a lawsuit with 120 people's names on it because of some of the things we had to do in Birmingham. That didn't scare me at all. AEA is not the enemy. We allow it to be the enemy. It's an excuse. If administrators are willing to do their job, if there's an ineffective adult working in a school system, if we do our work as administrators, tenured people can be released. That is a myth. That is not true. But it does take adults that have been placed in leadership positions to step up to the dadgum plate and do their job and quit using that as an excuse. Sandra, go back to us again. When we were in that city, we were rather disruptive. But we let go. I know of 10 tenured people that we released when I was superintendent. I'm still alive. I'm not in jail. The world went on, and they found something better to do rather than serving children. It can be done. Don't use it as an excuse. And if you got people in leadership positions that aren't willing to do that, get rid of them.
Next question. If you are trying to cut back on testing, why do you not set limits on systems? It doesn't matter if the state testing is small, but systems are allowed to do testing and test prep for 30% of the year.
Whoever wrote that question, before I leave tonight, find me in a corner and tell me where you are. If we're spending 30% of the year in test prep, shame on us.
I'm right here.
Shame on us. Assessment is important, not just the state assessments, because I'm a firm believer if you teach something and don't assess it and then reassess your abilities and theirs as you go through the year, you end up with surprises at the end of the year. But if we're overusing it, let's talk about it. That's not what assessment's meant for.
Next question. What are your plans for the teacher evaluation system that you are required to create? You have stated that you will not tie it to test scores. Is that still true?
I will make this statement, and I will make it until they fire me. I will not support a teacher evaluation system that uses one test score that's acquired in the spring to determine a teacher's worth. There are multiple factors that describe the value of a teacher, and we have a group of teachers and administrators and professors and experts that are sitting down now looking at our teacher evaluation system and putting it together, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that it will have multiple components to it. Could possibly test scores be used as a piece of it? Sure it is. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that shows whether we were successful or not, were we able to move children from point A to point B, that is our job. We need to own that. But I will not take to the State Board of Education a system that has only one measure, and that's one test score in the spring. Not going to happen. Until they fire.
Next question. What programs do you have for parents to learn more about Alabama school systems or Birmingham City school system, especially those that are new to the system or new to the area?
Forums like tonight, but the best way for you to find out what's going on in your school system, and I have to give a shout out, Rod Scott, Representative Rod Scott's back there. I don't know if you know how exceptional you have a representative there. This man cares about public education, and I don't know if any of your colleagues are here tonight, are there? Do you don't think so? Rod Scott is, because Rod Scott believes in public education, and you need to acknowledge that he's here tonight. He's a champion for us in Montgomery. Thank you, Rod, for being here. What do we do for parents? Visit a school. Get involved. You know, that's the best way to know what's going in your public education system, is go to one of your schools and spend time there. Whether you've got kids there or not, that's the way you know what's the truth about what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to try and read this, bear with me. Moving from 80 to 90% sounds very reasonable, but having the kids who do not graduate from 20 to 10% sounds much more difficult. How do you convince the incremental 10% to value a diploma or to earn it?
This is going to sound redundant. Make what we're asking them to do relevant. You know, why in the world should I stay? If what you're asking me to do has no meaning to the life that I'm currently living. We see kids that have been disenfranchised for years being very engaged if the adults create an engaging learning opportunity for their kids. It's up to us. Kids don't want to leave school. They leave school usually because they become disenfranchised. When we interviewed kids that dropped out of school, it wasn't that they didn't have academic ability. They just became totally disenfranchised with the way we're doing it. You know, I could use an example right now of a school that if you walk in school and the principal sees you with a cell phone, you get suspended day one. If he sees the cell phone in your pocket, they take it up and the parents have to come get it that afternoon. You think those kids are excited about going to school? I mean, if we were smart, we'd be teaching kids to use their cell phones as a piece of technology so that every classroom in the state of Alabama could actually have a computer lab on their own dime rather than us rushing out buying a bunch of computers. Because kids are going to use them and they've all got them. We've got to rethink this to get them engaged.
Next question, how can we take advantage of the free lunch program for all students?
Are y'all doing that? Okay. In Birmingham City, they've done the, what's it called? Community Comprehensive Grant for CMT, whatever it's called. Several school systems are doing that already, so that everybody eats free, regardless of whether you qualify for free and reduced lunch or not. We also now have a hugely expanded summer feeding program. But I shared this story in Huntsville recently. Huntsville had a huge increase and expanded the number of sites where kids during the summer could come in to eat. We got criticized for doing that. We got huge criticism. Casey Wardensky, the superintendent in Huntsville, got bashed in the media because it was looked upon as we're just promoting welfare and dependency on government. Dadgummit, we're talking about hungry children. Shame on us. Shame on people that would dare think that we shouldn't expand opportunities for kids to be fed. That's an adult issue that shouldn't happen. But Birmingham City has already moved to the community opportunity. Whatever it's called. Everybody comes to this. We feed everybody. And we'll get criticized for that. Let me just go ahead and tell you, we'll get criticized for it. But why shouldn't we? Breakfast, lunch, and now we even offer after school.